So proceeding with the deeper, let's say, discussion of our topic regarding quantitative research, we will now proceed to the different strengths of quantitative research. Now, whenever we say strengths, we are talking about the advantages of quantitative research. So meaning to say, what are the different advantages of conducting quantitative research or using quantitative research in various studies. So let us first have the first advantage or the first strength. So actually, the first advantage or strength of quantitative research is also the first characteristic of quantitative research. And it is quantitative research is objective. Okay? So it is objective. Quantitative research is objective in nature. So whenever we say objective, okay, quantitative research focuses, so it focuses on facts. Okay? Focuses on facts and a series of informations. And a series of information. So meaning to say, if it focuses on facts and a series of information, it uses authoritative knowledge. Okay? It uses logical knowledge, and it also uses empirical knowledge. But it does not use, okay, it doesn't use intuitive knowledge. Because the data, okay, the data we have is not based on our feelings or intuitions. Okay? What is the main essence of using facts and series of information? So, using facts and series of information, okay, meaning to say, the data in quantitative research are not or can't be easily misinterpreted. Since it relies on facts and the series of information, the data are not easily misinterpreted. So, meaning to say, the data, okay, the data is factual. Okay? So, and when the data is factual, okay, it is actually expert validated. They are validated by professionals. Okay? So, that is one strength of quantitative research. Also, quantitative research relies on different literature and studies. Okay? Quantitative research relies on the different related, okay, literature and studies, okay, or also known as RRLS. So RRLS stands for Review of Related Literature and Studies. So meaning to say, it relies on published data that is actually used in academic degrees. Okay? The data is presented in an academic or scholarly degree. Okay? And also, since quantitative research is objective in nature, okay, it uses numerical data. Okay? Quantitative research provides or uses numerical data. And when it uses numerical data, we do not choose which hypothesis to accept or reject. Okay? It accepts limitations or weaknesses as well. Okay? Meaning to say, it focuses on both positive and negative sides. Okay? So it will see both the positive and the negative sides. And to see the positive and negative sides, okay, in order for us to see both the positive and the negative sides, we actually use data and statistics. And this data and statistics will help us to avoid biases. Okay? So that is the first strength of quantitative research. Now, let us proceed to the second strength of quantitative research. So let us have the second strength of quantitative research. So, let's say the second strength, okay, or the second advantage of quantitative research actually pertains to the type of treatments to be used. Okay? So meaning to say, it uses different techniques. Okay? So the second strength is that it uses different techniques in order for us to analyze the data. In order for us to analyze data. Okay? So that is the second strength. And these different techniques that we are talking about actually refer to the different statistical treatments or statistical methods. Okay? And these statistical methods facilitate sophisticated analysis. Okay? And it allows us to comprehend a huge amount of vital characteristics of data. So, these different methods allows us to interpret data in a simple manner. Okay? So that is the second strength of conducting quantitative research. It uses different techniques in order for us to analyze data. And these statistical methods or these different techniques actually pertain to the statistical methods. The statistical methods are used to interpret sophisticated data. So whenever we say sophisticated data, difficult data, or let's say complex data, okay? It uses we use statistical methods to simplify the complex data. Okay? Also, in quantitative research, since it uses different techniques or statistical methods, it also means that, or it also implies that quantitative research doesn't require direct observation. Okay? It doesn't require a direct observation in order for us to, in order for the researcher to gather data. Why? Because, okay, through the use of statistical methods, we can actually gather data already. We can actually form interpretations and conclusions. Okay? And this statistical methods doesn't require direct observation because we compute it. We do not actually observe it. Also, quantitative research doesn't require direct observation due to the fact that we use different methods of experimentation and data collection. And under this data collection, we actually have several, like using databases and using questionnaires. Now, in using questionnaires, we do not directly observe our respondents, right? We just need their answers. In let's say in gathering data from databases, we only pick out specific facts, okay, or we only pick out specific data, okay, and these specific data are not actually directly observed with our naked eye. And through the methods of experimentation as well, it yields different variables or different data which form results. Okay? And these results actually do not require direct observation as well. Why? Because the experimentation operates on itself. Okay? Also, it doesn't require direct observation because the quantitative research has scientific and logical basis. It has scientific and logical basis. So meaning to say, some data can be observed, or let's say some data can be obtained through the act of reasoning. Okay? So that is the second strength in quantitative research. It uses different techniques in order for us to analyze data. Okay? And these are the subsets. Now, proceeding to the third strength or the third advantage. Okay? The third advantage of quantitative research. So we have this third advantage. So, third strength. Okay? So, the third characteristic is concerned with the analysis and gathering of data. So, it is concerned with the collection, okay, and analysis of data. So, the collection primarily for the preliminary data, then the collection for information, okay, and also the collection for the numerical data, can be analyzed. Okay? And the collection and the analysis of this data can be done quickly. Okay? So the third strength or the third advantage is that in quantitative research, the collection and analysis of data can be done quickly. Okay? Since the materials are readily available in the internet and past research analysis, the collection of this data and analysis can be done quickly. Okay? So, why can it be done quickly again? Since the materials are readily available online and through past research studies and analysis. Okay? So that is why we can gather and collect data and analyze it easily. Also, since quantitative research uses randomized samples, okay, since we do not pick out or we do not choose samples based on our preference, okay, the researcher can be, or let's say the researcher is able to, let's say, not test the entire population. Okay? So it enables the researcher to not test the entire population. Because, okay, let us analyze it this quick. If you are to test your study on the entire population, it will take you several time. It will take you a long period of time to collect data and to collect results. Now, since we use samples, randomized samples, okay, we can have a larger or smaller sample data. And these samples can actually give us, okay, quick collection and analysis of data because we do not have to test the entire population. Okay? And the findings, so the findings can be generalized for the entire population. So meaning to say the results gathered by using only the samples can also apply to the entire population. Okay? So that is the main essence of the third advantage of, or the third strength of quantitative research. Now, let us proceed to the fourth and last, okay, strength of quantitative research. So we have the fourth strength. So we have the fourth strength. Okay. So the fourth strength of quantitative research is actually concerned with one of the characteristic. Okay? It is concerned with one of the characteristic of quantitative research, and that is the sixth characteristic. So what is the sixth characteristic once more? Quantitative research is replicable. Okay? So let us try to write it down. Quantitative research is replicable or can be repeated. Okay? Quantitative research can be repeated. So, meaning to say, okay, the results gathered in previous and present studies, so results are gathered in previous and present studies can be compared to each other. Okay? It can be compared to each other. Why is it compared to each other? To ensure validity. Okay? And reliability. So, meaning to say, if the results of, or the results in quantitative research is replicable, it also means that the trials are evident. The use of trials are evident. Okay? And with the use of trials, we can also use different methods like pre-tests and post-tests. Okay? And post-tests can also be used. So, let us first have this example. Okay? Let's say, in a certain academic discipline, let's say in the field of sciences, before you proceed to a certain lesson, the teacher will provide you pre-test. And this pre-test consists of different questions. And these questions will produce scores. Now, after the discussion of the lesson, the teacher will also give a post-test. This post-test is actually the same as the pre-test. Okay, sorry because the video got cut, but let us proceed anyway with where we left. So in the fourth strength or advantage of quantitative research, okay, we stated that quantitative research is replicable or can be repeated. The results can be replicable or be repeated. So the results are actually, so the previous results can actually be repeated. And the previous and the present results can be compared to each other. They are compared so that we can ensure the validity and reliability of the results. Now, since the results can be repeated or can be replicated, the trials are evident. Okay, the use of trials are evident. And when there are uses of trials, we can have another method such as the use of pre-tests and post-tests. So, in order to discuss pre-test and post-test, let us have this example. So, let's say we have the pre-test. The pre-tests have their own set of questions. And this own set of questions must be answered by, or let's say, must be performed to a group of students or group of some respondents or experimental units. And this will produce scores. These scores will serve as your results. Then, post-test, okay, then we have the post-test. So, the post-test are actually the same as the pre-test. Okay? They have the same content of questions or methods. However, it will produce a different score. Okay? So, it will produce a different set of scores. So, for example, in an academic setting, the teacher, before he or she discuss a new lesson, he or she will just give a pretest first to his or her students. Then, the students would answer these questions and they will produce scores. Now, to compare these scores, okay, after the discussion of the teacher, they will provide post-tests. And this post-test, okay, has the same set of questions as the pre-test. Okay, but it will produce a different score for the learners. So that we have to compare the scores. Okay, we can compare the scores. And why do we compare the scores once more? To ensure the validity and the reliability of the results. So that will be the conclusion, or this will end the discussion for the different strengths or advantages of quantitative research. So in our next video presentation, we will now be dealing with the weaknesses of quantitative research.